Hi, this is Dario. Welcome back to my channel, Motley Reads, and welcome to this first video in the Sagalong series for this year. So I'll be doing at least 4 videos about the saga that we are reading, which is Njal saga this year. And I explained the administration of the whole thing in my introduction video that you can see on my channel if you haven't seen it yet. Saga it's a piece of literature from the Nordics. It is from the first sagas have been written in 11th and 12th centuries. They've been written across the whole Nordic region. We know about sagas that are written in Sweden, that are written in Norway, that are written in Iceland, that are written also in the Viking areas on the British Isles. The most of the sagas have been written in Norway and especially on Iceland, and the sagas that are mostly well known around the world as being the sagas from the Nordics is Icelandic sagas. These sagas are describing different aspects of the societal life in the Nordic society, especially Icelandic society. There are different types of sagas, and the type of saga that Njal saga is a family saga. The Icelandic society started to come about during the 9th century when the Norwegian seafarers colonized Iceland, put the settlements in place, and these people who came to Iceland were really people who are both wanted to explore something new, but mostly people who wanted to have a freedom, and they believed in a freedom from kings and laws and so on, and they set up a kind of a egalitarian society with its own judicial system. This judicial system derailed a bit, so it actually turned into, since there was no real law enforcement on the island, no real overall authority, all the feuds between the families, they've been kind of dealt with in the courts that they had there, and then a court would make its decision, which would be a kind of a monetary penalty, for instance, but still people wouldn't be really happy with that, and then they would revenge, and that revenge it would be a blood feud. Somebody would kill somebody, and then you go to court, and then the judge says, okay, you need to pay this much and that much, and you pay, and then still the people want revenge, and then they kill somebody from your family, and then you get pissed off, and then you kill somebody from their family, and then everybody start killing each other. So this judicial system was pretty difficult one, and actually it caused really carnage on Iceland. And we know about this from sagas, we know about this from other historic sources, and sagas are used very much as a historic source by historians, albeit with a limited credibility, however not zero credibility. So you have this problem of the thing being written in a prosaic form, and it is written like the sagas are talking about things that happened during say 10th 11th century, and they are written in 13th century, so it's like 200 years after the events. And you can imagine now if we are writing about things that happened 200 years ago without using modern modern historical research, how would that sound? Probably it wouldn't be, fully credible for the afterworld. However, what we also know is that there is a quite a large accuracy in oral transmission in societies that do not have tradition of written transmission of information. So oral transmission is pretty accurate. We have seen that through investigating, different processes in different societies about that are using oral transmission, then comparing with what is known from archaeological evidence, from other sources, and it seems to be pretty accurate. However, not 100%. Sagas have been transmitted orally, and then they have written down 200 years after the events that they are describing. And what historians have seen, though, that many of the sagas, they are adjusted over time. But one saga that seemed to be pretty accurate and haven't been changed over years is Njal saga. So it kind of became a classic quite quickly. Because of its literary merits, probably. And literary merits of Icelandic sagas, they are very well known. The Icelandic sagas are really regarded as precursors of modern prose, if you like. And it's they're very, very realistic texts, very neutral. Observing happenings very, very soberly from the side, describing what is going on, what is happening. Very much like some of the modern authors, like Hemingway, for instance, having we are really kind of objective view on the events that are happening, and so literary, very, very important text. So Njal saga that I'm reading this is in a Swedish translation, and there are multiple translations in Swedish of this saga. It is Swedish and Icelandic or Nordic languages. It's the same language family. It's have lots of vocabulary is shared, and also lingual structure is similar. So it is maybe that's the reason why it is very easy to read for me who read Swedish. I don't know how it's in English. Maybe I should try to read in English. I can imagine that would have been certain difficulties with all the names of the places and people and so on. We are quite used to it up here, but I don't know how the English readers would see this. However, it is very. I see it as a very accessible, very easy to read. And this saga is split into 6 parts. There are 3 introductory parts, like short sagas themselves, introductory parts, and then there are 3 a bit longer parts, out of which the longest one is about this guy named Njal and his best friend Gunnar from Lidar Ende. The guy named Njal here he is actually historic character. His name was Njal Torgeirsson, and he was alive between 935 and 1011. He was a chieftain on Iceland and a huge landowner, very well known person, regarded as very knowledgeable in legal matters, and he is thought to be a person behind introduction of the Fifth Court of Iceland. The Fifth Court of Iceland is a quite important thing, really. Before the introduction of the Fifth Court, there were 4 courts in Iceland covering 4 geographic areas of Iceland, and they would be like, in different states. The fifth court was the Supreme Court. So it was a court of appeal, really. So if you are not happy with the verdict or one of the four regional courts, you would appeal to the fifth court, and the cases that were pretty that were especially sensitive, difficult, or large, they would go to the fifth court immediately. And this innovation that is driven by this guy Njal. All this saga is there is lots of legal content here. It is apparently written by somebody who really is into legal matters. Lots of things that are happening here are happening in the court, and we are following these court proceedings and court decisions. The saga is really about let's say like this. The first three introductory parts are about three unhappy marriages, really, and in two of these marriages there is a woman in the center. Her name is Haliad, and she is pretty difficult person. And very so difficult that she actually arranged two of her husbands to get killed, and then finally she gets married for a third time with this guy Gunnar, who is a big friend of Njal. And Gunnar is a huge hero. He's like a superhero. However, she is pretty snaky, and she's doing lots of things that are making life very difficult for Gunnar, and the situation around him and around them is basically spiraling into more and more difficulties, that you see that this really cannot go well. She and some other women here in this saga, they are portrayed as being a pretty manipulative kind of evil puppeteers who are controlling their men and driving this murdering spree that is ongoing, and driving these revengeous killings that are happening here, that are eventually going to drive into massive tragedy. What you can see here, there are lots of these court proceedings. There are lots of these shenanigans with these evil puppeteer ladies there, and there is lots of action as well. There are lots of fighting scenes which are very graphic. They are like it's like a Marvel movie. You have scenes when they are fighting on Viking ships, and throwing the spear, and then you throw spears at somebody, and then this guy captures a spear and turns around and throw it back at you. It is like really a Hollywood scene that are graphically described. So it is very exciting. So you have this mixture of these scenes. You have these intrigues. You have these legal situations. And discussions that are going quite deeply into legal matters. So it is pretty interesting. Although these first 40 chapters that we read, 40 chapters, it's 67 pages. So chapters are really short. Already in these 67 pages, lots of things have happened, and I'm really looking forward into what more is going to happen. But I can clearly see that this escalation of revenge in this blood feud is it is not doing well, but it's going to end in a real mess. So yeah, I'm looking forward to read more, and I'm looking forward to next video. If you also are reading together with us, please leave a comment down below, and until next time, take care. See you.